everybody, welcome back. This is TESOL 2022, day 2, getting close to winding down here now. Had some great interviews so far, and my next guest is Diego Boada. Some of you have probably heard his name, or if maybe not your name, they know what you do, because there's this really cool program that we want to chat with Diego about. You're from Colombia.
Correct.
And you are a TESOL certificate trainer. So first of all, just tell us, what is a certificate trainer? What does that mean?
Okay, I want to say hello to everyone who is watching. I'm real happy to be here in Pittsburgh. I know that we have more than 8,000 people that are joining remotely.
Yes.
And so that's something that has really changed after the pandemic, because before that was not an option. You know, like you had to have a lot of money to travel to the US, and you know, hotels are expensive, flights. And so now it's like you can do it from your couch. And so how cool is that?
Yes.
And so lots of you are watching, so I'm really glad that you are there, and thank you for joining us today. So yeah, my background is in TESOL, so I was an English teacher, but then you know, I got really interested in technology and how to work with technology and how to teach with technology. So I pursued my master's and PhD in learning, design, and technology, or instructional design. And so, like, I like to say that I work in between both fields. You know,
And was that before the pandemic?
Correct.
It was before.
So
okay.
TESOL and instructional technology. So I'm in between both things.
Okay.
And so during the pandemic, I had the opportunity to become an instructor for TESOL International Association. So we have we offer certificates for teachers out there. You know, there is different type of pricing, whether you are in the US or if you are a global member, it's cheaper. There are also scholarships available. So when I was teaching, we had a lot of teachers that from all over the world, really, and they had scholarships through American embassies, through the State Department. So it was free to them.
Okay.
It was a really nice program. The certificate is called Developing an Online Teaching Program, and the purpose is to help teachers to develop an online course. So these days, everybody's selling a course online. You know, like you'll see them on Instagram, you'll see them everywhere. And so some teachers, they've developed courses that are about teaching English, like how to prepare for your TOEFL exam, for example. But some other teachers develop courses on like mindfulness and things that they were passionate about, but maybe they didn't have the time to or the resources to explore. And so they develop a course from beginning to end. They write a syllabus, and many of these teachers, they've never written a syllabus before, because sometimes when you're a teacher, you're just given a course. Like, this is what you're teaching, this is your textbook, and there isn't like much room to create something new.
Okay.
And so it was really fun. This program is for it lasts for 5 months. It is asynchronous, meaning that we don't meet like on Zoom or anything like that, because people are from different time zones, so that wouldn't be possible. And the certificate is structured around a Capstone Project. And the Capstone Project is, they create a program, they create a course, and then they teach it to students for 2 weeks. And so they reflect on the experience, they improve it. And so we care about things like, the kind of like the creating or writing good instructional goals, for example. I know everything that has to do with education, but also other things like the user experience. Like, if you have an online course, like, is it accessible? Like, how many clicks does it take for your student to get there? And right now I work in the edtech industry, and so that's something that people in tech really know. So they will track, for example, your experience if you're using an app on Airbnb, let's say. So where are you clicking? What features really people are using? What features people are not using? How can I help them to use this tool and make it friendly? Because whenever you open a new app or whatever, it's like you're new to it, so you don't know how to use it. So we do that in education as well. Like, is the course friendly? Does the student feel welcomed? And so typically we talk about, we are doing like teacher-centered or student-centered, sorry, not teacher-centered. We don't want that. Student-centered teaching, it's all about the student. But then I think when you do it online and when you're talking about technology, then that takes like a different level, because really the student is alone. They open their computer, they open their iPad, whatever they're using, and then you can think about their journey as a user in a way, as a student. So that's what we do. It's a very fun certificate. So if you're interested, you can check out the website.
And is that for like the college level, or is that K-12?
We have all sorts of teachers.
Okay.
Yeah, like K-12. I had a lot of teachers that taught like adults, and they taught at binational centers. So these are like language centers in different countries that they have some type of connection with the American embassy. and they work with adults, with children, you know. So I really had a wide range of participants in my cohort that I taught, and that makes it really interesting because then, you know, we can share our experiences. And something that I learned is that we're not that different, and that we all face similar problems. Like, you know, like you think like, oh, you know, like in developing countries, students don't have access to technology. But guess what? In the USA, in the UK, in Europe, that's also an issue. And so, like, in a way, I think the pandemic made me realize that we all live in one planet. You know, just one big world,
Right.
and we're not that different, really.
Right, exactly. So last year you developed this interesting program for your students called Coffee Chat. Tell me a little bit about that. How does it work?
Okay. So, so going back to the certificate, this says asynchronous, so we don't see each other, and that's something that I miss as a teacher. Like, you need to be with your students, you need to be in the classroom. And so we developed this idea. The idea is to, we were making these short videos on YouTube, like for about 20 minutes. And so it is like an interview style. And then we were talking about problems that teachers face. And so I would have like different different guests, I meant. And so let's say if the problem is we don't have technology, you know, our students don't have access to the internet, how can I teach during the pandemic? So that's the question, and then we invite experts that are academics, but also teachers from the classroom and people from the industry to kind of like share some ideas on how teachers can approach that problem. And so these are 20-minute videos, really short, using very informal English, not academic. So we want to make it accessible. We wanted to make it free to anyone on the internet. And so it's fun. And also TESOL. So this started like as a classroom project, right? So, you know, it was like our thing. I was meeting with my students and other instructors in the same certificate. But now the idea is that we want to make it more of an official TESOL thing.
Okay.
To make it more, you know, like we're thinking about adding like different graphic elements, like motion graphics, and to make it more fun, and being able to maybe work to partner with different companies and universities to bring that content to people for free, because not everyone has the resources or the money to sometimes join professional development associations like this one, or to travel, and so then it's very accessible.
It is accessible now
Right.
to anyone.
We have a few, we had like 30 guests last year,
Okay.
but that was like the classroom project. So now our
Okay.
hope is to make it more of a TESOL product, if you will.
Okay.
And so it's been improving. You know, like the first video was like a webinar recording, and so we've been like getting fancy
we've
a
done
little
that
bit. And so now we have like editing a little bit,
get
and so
fancy.
it's been fun. And TESOL is very big, and it's also small in some ways. So the TESOL office is in Washington, D.C., and it's very small. But then, you know, we have people from all over the world. So like last I heard, there are like about 12,000 members in TESOL. But according to Wikipedia, there are like about 44,000 members in total, including affiliates. And this is in more than 150 countries around the world. So that's, you know, we have a lot of representation. And on social media, there are about, across different platforms, we have more or less 500,000 followers. So we have a lot of people out there, and so it's really hard to connect with them and reach out. And so now with the YouTube project, maybe that will be like a possible way to connect with people and teachers around the world.
And you've done a couple of these coffee chats. You have 3 of them planned. How many have you done so far?
Yeah,
At the convention?
we have like then the 2 versions. We have like the pre-recorded YouTube version, short version, and then we have the live coffee chats that happen here during the conference. So this year we are doing 3 coffee chats. We already had 2. And so the first one was with ALI.com, formerly known as ESL Library, and it was about the must-haves for great English teaching materials. Like, what is it that it needs to have? So it was really fun. We talked to the CEO and the VP of Publishing. And so that was on Wednesday. So the recording is available online. On Thursday, today, I'm coming from that coffee chat. It was with National Geographic Learning. We talked about what we have learned from the pandemic. So like sharing our experience, you know, and it was really fun. Like some people say, you know, like, oh yeah, education will be completely different after the pandemic. But for some other teachers, I just talked to a teacher from Colombia. She teaches in the Amazon rainforest, and she said that the pandemic was like a gap for her. Like it was like 2 years of like nothing is happening.
Oh, wow.
Kids are not really learning anything, and now they're back. And so, we want to remain and stay hopeful that now things will be better, but like that really depends on the context. And so that was the topic of that conversation. And tomorrow we are talking with the Office of English Language Programs. This is a program by the State Department, and the topic of the day is how to. What is your favorite teaching abroad anecdote? Like because these people have traveled all over the world, like they really know a lot about that, and so like for example, like I talked to this person and they said that they were in a country and they were reaching out to teachers via email and they were not getting any reply, so they thought that, oh, teachers are not interested, they're not available. But then it turns out that teachers didn't use email. It wasn't a thing, and so you would expect like email is universal,
Right.
but they use like all the forms of communication.
Okay.
And so that's what we're discussing tomorrow.
Okay.
So if you are available, this is from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And so, yeah, you can join us online. And it's gonna be
where do
fun.
they find it? On the TESOL website?
Yeah, correct. So you go to the schedule, look for TESOL Coffee Chats from 2 to 3, and we'll be there. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be engaging because you can actually participate, and we have questions that you can answer at home. We'll like if you are not shy, we can turn on your webcam and your mic, and so that way everybody can see you here. So the idea is that this is a hybrid session, and we want to make you feel like as if you were here with us in Pittsburgh.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much. Diego
Okay.
Boada, thank you
Thanks,
for being
Amy.
here. We appreciate your time. Good luck tomorrow with the coffee chat.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.